good. I'm enjoying a small glass of Sherwin-Williams Kentucky bourbon, and for the price, this is the best bourbon at this price point. Well, let me say this. It's not fair just to say that. This is the best bourbon you could have at twice this price. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
It's really good. I'm enjoying the crap out of it. Let's dive right in. Street Outlaws Memphis.
Get into it.
We missed last Saturday. We were actually together, but we had a family thing, and I thought about podcasting while we were there. I certainly had the equipment with me. We could have recorded. It's just, I don't know. I was having a good time just hanging out, talking to everybody, and getting to see you and see your family, and I didn't want to break all that
We had a
up.
good day.
Yeah, the weather was pretty good. It was nice. Got to take Ian and Jameson for a ride in the Mustang. That was fun. You did a nice burnout leaving.
I know, huh?
We were right behind you. I did a little bit of one. One of those things that Julie gets mad if I do that too much.
I think when I start that, I always let go too soon because I'm afraid of how far it'll go.
Yeah.
I don't keep it stomped down for too long.
I don't blame you. Tires are expensive.
Yeah.
I don't do much of a burnout either. I won't do a smoke show and leave thick black marks everywhere I go. That's silly.
But it is fun.
Oh yeah.
It is fun to get it started.
I do highly suggest if you're getting new tires anyway to go for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Burn them right down to the cords.
Sure.
But I know you haven't got to watch it yet, but you should go on and check out at least that first episode. But they're a really interesting crew. So if you've ever seen the regular Street Outlaws with Big Chief and Murder Nova and Daddy Dave and all those guys, they're quite a group. These guys, honestly, their cars aren't as fast, but they're closer to street cars. They're definitely not, most of them. But they're closer, you know what I mean?
Well, I'm gonna get caught up. Yeah.
And JJ DeBoss is a really interesting guy. And he did time for drug dealing. You could tell he really cares about his family. His oldest son with his ex-wife is still with him. They call him Doughboy, and it's appropriate. He's a big, strong guy, but he's a big boy.
Big boy, yeah.
He told a story once about how they were at his house, at his garage, working on a vehicle, and a guy came up, and he was actually looking for someone else, and he was at the wrong address, but he showed up with a gun. And JJ was trying to talk him down, and Doughboy kept angling over on him.
Well,
And finally, the guy dropped the gun. Well, they dropped the gun, and JJ rushed him, and then Doughboy grabbed him, and the guy was fighting him at first before he realized what was going on. And JJ said, break this man's arm." Now, he didn't mean it. He meant it as, to freak the guy out and get him to stop squirming.
Yeah.
Doughboy broke his arm. So when you know that about these guys, this is the type of crew they all are.
Yeah.
And so, one of them's a professional drag racer with a super expensive car, and you see that, and I don't think he's one of them, but JJ's buddies and stuff that are real close to him that kind of look like him, a little bit rougher. I believe they would mess somebody up on JJ's word if he gave it.
Oh yeah. Sure.
It's a different type of person, you know what I mean? That old Southern gangster.
You grow up with that kind of background, and you're rough like that, and you come out the other side, and make something of your life and build on respect and business and stuff like that. That does not take away from that side of you before, that tough, no nonsense,
Yeah.
I think that's just the way those guys are.
Well, and it just so happens that JJ has a couple really fast cars, and he's a great driver. So it makes for some entertaining TV, especially if you like drag racing. And this is like, yeah, I mean, someone mentioned that on Muscle and Speed. They were like, I wish they were actual street cars, and I was like, yeah, I mean, I get that. I do too sometimes, but um, technically, if you really wanted to get crazy, most of these cars are at least from A pillar to bumper. The bumpers wouldn't be steel, but like the car body is mainly steel. It's a tube chassis, most of them, or at least some kind of tube chassis, and then like a fiberglass front end on them. So
Yeah.
they are lightened, and it is what it is. But they're at least they resemble. They are shaped and look exactly like the car they're supposed to look like. Like the Pro mods, I don't like that. Those are on like stretched chassis. I mean, they look like a funny car, kind of.
Yeah,
I
well,
don't like that.
I do love when those funny cars come off the line and they put it in slow mo so you can see what those tires do on
Oh
takeoff
yeah.
because of all the power. It's
Oh
pretty
yeah.
sweet.
Yeah. Well, and then you add the fact that they are actually racing on a road. They're not at a drag strip. So that makes it kind of cool too.
Yeah, pretty cool.
It's a neat show. And the first episode or two episodes were 2 hours long. It was something like that, but it was really good. They raced groups from Indiana, Illinois, and Detroit. So um, they got into a fist fight like right away. And people are like, "Well, that's so fake. It's just set up for TV." They've been sued twice for these fights because it's not fake.
No,
And people are people. They get punched on TV. They want to get paid. They don't care.
yeah, oh yeah.
So,
Yeah, but wouldn't it be kind of cool to say that you got into a big brawl with these guys
oh
instead
man,
of being a
if we had a group of guys that had cars like that,
okay.
I would absolutely be contacting them to race. Absolutely. But I mean, the engines. They don't say that enough on these shows, but these aren't like $10,000 cars. These are crazy expensive. You know, especially
because
the Oklahoma City guys. I mean, they got to have 30 grand into their engines at least, maybe
yeah,
more.
oh,
It's
yeah,
just there's no way.
that's the biggest expense right there.
Yeah. Well, and their transmissions are thousands of dollars. The rear ends are thousands of dollars. They've got tons in that drivetrain. You got all the electronics that control that. It's there's a lot of money wrapped up in this now. But what's funny is
Oh,
if you
yeah.
go all the way back to season one, their cars weren't quite like this. So there is truth to that TV money. There is definitely TV money that they're using to build these cars. So,
Yeah.
you know, more power to them. I think it's entertaining. So, you're going to watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, you're going to watch some Street Outlaws. I'd rather watch Street Outlaws. Because some people are like, oh, it's so melodramatic. Yeah, so is everything else on TV. What do you want to watch?
Exactly.
So I don't know. I'm a fan, and the season will continue Monday night, and then
Do they have that thick Kentucky accent?
super thick, super thick.
Yeah.
Um, uh, and then after Street Outlaws Memphis, I believe the No Prep Kings series starts right after, and that's really sketchy. So what that is it's drag racing on a track with no prep. So that's where the name comes from. But what it means is usually if you go to a track, they like super clean the track. They add all the sticky crap to it so that the cars stick well and they hook up well. No prep means no prep, which means that track is the way it's been for however long without anybody touching it. And they go there with these high horsepower cars, like 3,000 horsepower cars, and they race them. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of accidents, there's a lot of problems, and they put big money on the line for that series. And some of them will be the Street Outlaws guys, and famous drag racers, Mike Murillo, Birdman. I mean, these guys are big names that have won. I think Birdman's a 16-time champion in drag racing. So, and he races a Fox Body Mustang with a big block Ford engine, which is getting kind of rare. So it's pretty cool. It's Monday nights, I believe, starting at 9. So I think it's 9 to 10 for
Okay.
Street Outlaws Memphis, and then 10 to 11 for No Prep Queens. So worth it. Definitely worth it. So that brings us to Wednesday and Jay Leno's Garage.
And he was hanging out with Travolta, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to see Travolta in his element, like he loves his planes and he likes his little Corvette or his little convertible, his Thunderbird. He's got a 55 or 57 Thunderbird convertible.
I seen that.
Yeah. And he's bald. He's not wearing one of his stupid wigs. But you know what's funny is if you close your eyes, he still sounds like the dude from Grease Lightning. Because he is. But I mean,
Oh yeah.
as an older man, he's still got that young man's voice.
Yeah,
So
well,
what'd you
and
think?
he's still working. He's still making some decent movies.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, he's kind of like Nicolas Cage. He has an expensive lifestyle, and so he pops out movies like crazy. Like, if you pay attention to
Yeah.
Amazon Prime and Netflix, there's a John Travolta movie and a Nick Cage movie coming out like every couple months.
That's true.
Because they got. Because Nick Cage spends money like it's going, like it's burning a hole in his pocket, and Travolta owns planes as personal vehicles.
And that's expensive.
Yeah. He's got the BBJ, the
Yeah.
Boeing business jet or whatever. And what did they say?
Yeah, Jay was saying how it's bigger than most apartments in New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and they said if it was
Well,
configured for commercial flight, it would seat 150 people, but as it sits, it's configured for 15.
Well, yeah, because you got to have the nice bedroom and everything.
2 bedrooms.
The bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the way to
There's a
fly it.
lot more to that plane, though. I'm wondering what else is in there. But it's wild how he has a runway at his house. So he can take off and land right from his house. And he has
I'd be
like that
racing
weird
up and down that
carport.
runway with my car, just seeing how fast I could go.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That would be
Yeah.
awesome. I've always wanted to go to K.I. Sawyer. If there was an area there, and there probably isn't, but if there was an area on K.I. Sawyer where you could do that, I would love to go do that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That'd be a blast, but there probably isn't. I'm sure it's all either busted up or still government property, and they're not going to let anybody on it. But isn't that weird, though? They have that little carport built over the plane hangar thing where he can pull his plane up. That's just crazy.
He's gotten really good.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they say he's a great pilot. And then who's the other one? Harrison Ford is another pilot who's pretty famous
he's
for
been-
rescuing people and flying all over, and
Yep.
that's crazy. I honestly, that would be the ultimate dream, is to be able to fly yourself wherever you want to go whenever you want. But I'd want my
Oh, man.
4 wheels on the ground. I wouldn't want to do it. What'd you think
I
of
think I'd be
the
more
flying
likely
car?
to fly if I was in control.
Yeah. I'd see. I don't know that I would want to fly if I had to fly it. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because if it's, I don't know. If I ran into trouble, I'd feel really bad if I killed everybody. And that happens. You run into trouble, and hopefully you have a pilot that's good enough to handle it. I don't know.
So is that Corvette that Travolta owns? Has he had that for a long time?
Oh, you mean that Thunderbird?
Like, did he bought it? Yeah, he bought that when he was way younger.
Yeah, that was his first
Just
vehicle
like
when
his
he
favorite
got some
thing.
money. So when
Ah,
he was doing Welcome Back Cotter, he got his first couple paychecks. He bought a Thunderbird, and he drove that to be cool.
yeah, well, that is cool.
It is cool. That's a really cool car. The T-Bird was
Yeah,
awesome in its first iteration, and then early in the second generation, like I don't know if you remember the Highlander convertible Thunderbird.
yes, I do.
Yeah, the
Beautiful.
that was an awesome car too. And some people still like the mid to late '60s Thunderbirds and stuff, but I really don't. So those early '60s, in the first generation, I really liked, and then somewhere in the mid '80s, they got pretty good again with that turbocharged engine that you could get, and right into the mid '90s, where it still had a Mustang drivetrain, and they had gotten a little bit smaller, and
Yeah.
so there was some performance there. That and the Cougar were pretty good, but I don't know. They kind of lost their way.
Speaking of rare cars, I was driving through town just the other day, and I saw one of the newer GTOs for sale.
Oh, really? It was like 05, 04, 05, 06.
Yeah, I recognized it right away, and so I had to tell William because William loves looking at the cars, and I said it may not look like much on the outside,
Yeah.
but that is a really fast car.
Well, it was
I said that thing rip it.
unfortunately for the GTO, what happened was they came out with that in 2004, and it's a great car. I mean, it was LS based, at 350-ish
Yeah,
horsepower, and the Mustang GT came out in '05 with its 300 horsepower. So it was much more powerful than the Mustang GT. The problem was the styling. It looked like a Pontiac Grand Am.
yeah. It just was the style wasn't there
Right.
to set it out against the rest of the muscle cars that were coming out at the time.
And so the reason it did is because it was based on the Holden. It was the Aussie car. It was a Holden. Was it the Monero? It was one of those. But anyways, um, it they didn't have the money really to put into it to do like a serious restyling. And so they basically brought that car to the U.S. and that is what it basically looked like. They changed the front end just a little, but that's basically a Holden from Australia, and it's a good car. And their logic behind it was that the original GTO was a based on the Pontiac Tempest and the Pontiac Le Mans. And so the GTO was basically like an everyman's car that just happened to have a lot of power. And so the fact that the newer GTO kind of looked like a Pontiac Grand Am, they liked that because they said that was what the original was. And I
But a
understand
lot of
that,
people don't.
but it was wrong.
Yeah, no, it was wrong. People expect to see something else when they think of a GTO. They think of the Judge, that big beautiful body that really stood out, and that just
Right.
doesn't have it. It does. It looks like a Grand Am.
Well, it does. I mean, it
But
looks
I would
exactly
still.
like
I
one.
mean, if I had it in my power, that would be something to collect because
Oh
those,
yeah.
especially being that Pontiac doesn't exist anymore. I mean,
Well,
it's quite a car.
and it's really fast.
It's really
By
fast.
2000, was it
Yeah.
2006? It had over 400 horsepower. I mean, it was a fast car. The thing that really killed it though was the fact that the Mustang had gone to their retro styling. And they had those commercials like Steve McQueen and the Field of Dreams
Yeah.
crossover, and
Yeah.
it murdered it. No one gave a crap about the new GTO. Everybody was talking about the new Mustang, and
Yeah.
that was too bad because it was a good car. It was just the wrong style. I understand
Wrong
even what they were
style.
trying to do, wrong. Just
No,
like
it needed to stand out like retro.
yeah, when Ford did the new Thunderbird, they did like a half-ass retro with it. It was a mistake.
Yeah.
that didn't look good enough. It didn't perform good enough. It was too big. It was too heavy. Not enough power. It was just a miss, a big fat miss. But just like the GTO, if you could find one of those 2002-ish or whatever Ford Thunderbirds, that's a collectible. It really is.
Yep, it really is.
It's
something to hang on to.
It's a sad collectible.
But wasn't something that never really was.
Right. It's sad. It's like the Plymouth Prowler. I was doing some research on a Plymouth Prowler. That's one of the best looking cars of its time. It was just, It had a V6. It had no performance at all. It had all the looks that you could ever want in a car with zero performance.
Which that just doesn't add up.
Yeah.
For anybody. That's never going to work.
No, because you want both. Especially because they were asking a lot of money for that car.
I know.
And the sad part is they do Hemi swaps now. So you can get a Plymouth Prowler and throw a 6.1 liter 425 horsepower engine in it. The problem is it's probably more valuable with its crap engine.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. It's it's the way it should have been. Is those should have been built,
right.
for speed. That's what they, that's what they were going for with the body style.
Yep. They should have put the 318 in it. 318, 360.
And performance.
Yep. Just like the Viper gave nothing. That was a no frills, as close to a race car on the street you could get in an American car, and it had tons of power. It was scary. It didn't have all the nannies on it. I just don't understand how the same company that made the Viper made the Prowler. The Prowler had the looks and none of the performance. The Viper had both, so why couldn't you have done it with the Prowler?
Hit and miss, a little bit of genius and
a little bit of idiot.
Because the Viper, what a beautifully named car. For the style that it has, and then the power, and just it's super low profile. It's a great car.
How'd you like that story though on Leno's where they're talking about that one of the early innovators of the flying car, where he took a Pinto and he grafted like a small prop plane to it? Did you see that?
No, huh?
So they're talking about that, and that guy did many flights, and it was very promising until on one of his test flights, one of the wings broke off, and he crashed and died.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But Leno was laughing and made a joke of it, too.
No, I didn't get that far.
Yeah.
I didn't get that far in the episode.
Yeah, he drives a modern kind of flying car. They're like $389,000. They can fly like 1,000 miles on a tank of fuel. Jeez. But it doesn't look like a car at all. It looks like a little airplane.
It looks like a little jet.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think so. And here's why. Because when my car breaks down, I just pull off the side of the road. If my flying car breaks down, I fall out of the sky and die in a flaming crash.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know about everybody else out there, but I've broken down a few times in cars and had to pull off to the side of the road.
Yeah.
Way too many times to trust a flying car.
We can always just wait until they perfect it, work out all the kinks.
Right. And that's the thing. Just like we were talking about earlier, I'm not even blaming the flying car company. I'm sure their product is great. Some of the times when I've broken down in cars, it's been my fault.
Yeah.
I've run out of gas.
Missed maintenance.
Yeah, I've missed maintenance. I've done all kinds of stupid things with cars, and including driving them in an inappropriate manner. So, no, I don't want your flying car.
No, not right yet.
So, okay. The other thing I showed you was that trailer for that new Michael Bay movie that's coming out on Netflix with Ryan Reynolds. What'd you think of that?
Reynolds.
It's called For the Love of Money. No, it isn't. It's called Six Underground.
6 Underground. And you said it's their version of Fast and the Furious?
That's what they're kind of touting it as. It's very stylized. It has a lot of recognizable stars in it, and Michael Bay, doing it. Which when everyone's like, "Oh, Michael Bay, he never makes anything of substance. All his movies just go bang, 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 bang,
Yeah,
and they
it's
look
just a
pretty."
bunch of
Well,
explosions.
sometimes that's what you're looking for.
Sometimes, yeah. When you
you
just
know,
want to be entertained, not
right?
have to think too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
I I will watch it for sure. For one, I'm a huge Ryan Reynolds fan. I think he is effortlessly hilarious in everything he's in.
Yeah.
Even when he's being serious,
Yeah.
he's hilarious. I think there's a movie where he played a serial killer. I didn't watch it, but I'm pretty sure I would laughed at him.
I don't know if I heard of that one. I thought the
He
best
might
friends
not have,
one was pretty hilarious.
because I just seen there's a movie coming out with Jim Gaffigan where I think he's playing some kind of serial killer. I
I could see that.
Well, people are saying that it's really good, but I don't know how I could watch that without laughing my ass off.
Yeah, because
Hot
because he's
pockets.
got that dry humor.
Right.
Yeah, so
Like John Lovitz. You can't put John Lovitz as a serial killer. Come on.
no.
His little jowls would start shaking when he was talking fast with his little head shake. you, you can't take that serious. They said Gaffigan gets help because he kind of looks like Philip Seymour Hoffman. And the fact that he's huge. He's like 6'2" or 6'3". Gaffigan's actually massive.
He's a tall guy.
And he's oddly pale, right? He's like
Yeah.
so pasty,
Oh,
it's weird.
you're gingered. Gingered.
He's like super pale white haired ginger though. That's the weird, like almost albino. I don't know. That's wild. But sixth round. The trailer's out on YouTube. If you look it up, it looks like $1,000,000. It really does. It looks good. Ryan Reynolds is awesome. It's got a great cast in it. Do I
Comes
think
out
it's a
December,
generic? Right. Is it a generic plot about spies, this, that? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. If you change the stars out to Jason Statham, The Rock, and, yes, it's one of those movies. But here's the thing, like you mentioned, if it's entertaining, who cares?
Yeah.
Who
You're
cares?
entertained by it and it's not, hurting your feelings or whatever, and it's good action, then why not?
Right. Don't.
All right, give it
Yeah.
a shot. And they got good actors in it, so how could it be horrible?
I think it's one of those things with some people where they talk themselves out of having a good time. You know what I mean?
I'm not gonna like this,
Yeah.
no matter what.
I don't give a shit what happens tonight. I'm going to make sure I think it sucks.
Yeah. Let everybody know.
Most
Yeah, I've
people,
done that several
they don't
times.
understand that about themselves. They really don't. So most people just don't get it. Someone posted a meme that said something to the effect of, sometimes people don't realize how I feel like I need to have a breakdown in order for you to understand how much trouble I'm having right now. It's like, I want you to really stop and look at what you just said.
Yeah. Think about that for a minute.
Want attention. You want someone to know that you're in a bad mood, and so you're going to go as far as to having some sort of weird meltdown. Like, you don't understand that's all you. That's all you. 100%. It's all you. You did it to yourself. You started it yourself, you continued it yourself, and then you ended it yourself. You can't blame that on anybody.
Nope.
It's that just crazy amount of narcissism and look at me, look at me, look at me. I don't have energy for that. I really don't.
Well, the length that people go to screw up for attention is sad.
It is. Like,
Really sad and
you weren't
demented.
paying any attention to me, and that's why I went out and keyed that car. And it's like, no, you're an idiot. that's why you went out and keyed the car. You're psychotic. Well, I know, and I wanted you to know. Well, I did know.
Sociopath.
We all know. Whenever you're feeling that way, just know that we all know. You're not. Yeah. No one's unaware. Comfort yourself by knowing that we all know. We all know you're having a rough time.
Yeah.
You don't need to show us every day. You can just know that we know.
And plus, it's like sometimes people don't want to get past something though. They hang on to it for dear life.
Well, they want everything all day long to be about that. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
And they never want to own up to that fact. You know, this bothers me, that bothers me. I'm struggling with this, I'm struggling with that. But the reality is they're only happy when everyone's fully engrossed in every problem they're having and everything they're feeling and everything they're touching all day long, every day. That's what it is.
Yeah.
You can wrap whatever beautiful name or scientific this and put what, you know, that's what it is. You know, and I know that it's not voluntary all the time, and people are dealing with mental disorders, and there are issues there, and they need to get help for that, and sometimes pills are the only way to do it, although hopefully that's always the last resort. You know, but that is still what it is.
It doesn't cure anything.
Right. You're just masking it.
Yep.
Right. You know, but sometimes that is all that's left, you know. I'm not against it. I think sometimes that's all there is. You know, sometimes you're just trying to make it. You know, yeah, is what it is, I guess. But it's hard for me. It's hard for me to turn my brain off and just nod, you know, dumbly. Yep. Oh, man. Yep. You know, I hear you. I'm there with you, except I'm not. Sorry. Yeah, is what it is. But enough of that nonsense. Let's talk about Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry.
And that's the first time I'd ever seen the movie.
How'd you like it? Give me your full thoughts on it. Give me your full thoughts on it, because I have 9 million things. I've seen it 100 times, but before I just run over what I have to say, I'd rather hear your stuff
What's
first.
That?
Before I just run through everything I have to say about it, I'd rather hear what you think of the movie.
Okay. Well, like I was saying, I've seen some of Peter Fonda's stuff. You know, I watched a few of his 70s movies, so I didn't really know what to expect. And then I saw the ratings, so I didn't know if it was like those 70s PG movies that are really rated R, and you don't know how they got the.
Well, it kind of is. It kind of is one of those.
But it was. I mean, it surprised me. That was a good movie, and the car chases and stuff were excellent, and the ending was a complete and total surprise. It kind of blows the top off.
Right.
I thought it was great. I couldn't, and it wasn't. It's not a laughing moment, but I did laugh at the end, just because it was so unexpected and realistic.
Mm-hmm. Because that is what would happen.
Yeah. That's what would happen.
I'm going to start. Well, wait, let me back up, because I cut you off. I want you to finish your thought, but then I'll jump in with my my thoughts on it. But I have a lot of thoughts on it, because like most things, I really like the movie. I really enjoy it, but I also see it for what it is.
Yeah. Well, I thought his buddy was going to end up turning out to be the psycho.
Yeah.
I didn't
kind
know,
of acts psycho off and on.
He obviously, I think Fonda's character was mostly like a sociopath, because he didn't really give a crap about anybody.
No, he didn't.
It was all about what he wanted and what he was going to accomplish, and which was about racing. That was, which was
NASCAR.
Another thing, another little side story. It wasn't like he was an evil man trying, just a greedy person. He was tired of working hard.
So I'll inject this.
So
their whole scheme was to steal money from a Save Mart which for whatever
Yeah.
reason had tons of money. They're gonna steal. They're gonna steal everything from Save Mart and fund their NASCAR team so they can go kick ass at Charlotte.
Yeah, but how they weren't wearing masks or anything, were
No,
they?
that's a stupid
No,
premise.
it was really crazy. But I guess that's the name. It was
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
It was a crazy idea and a crazy way to do it. But it was a good movie. I enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
would definitely watch that again, and I will. I'll watch it a
Well,
lot
yeah.
more.
So, yeah, it's something else. Yeah. So it was made. It was released in 1974. It was made in 73. It was a huge hit for the day. It was a surprise hit. No one expected it to make the money it did. I think Peter Fonda and Dennis Hopper must have been fighting at that point because he was throwing shade at him after the fact, claiming that he made more money with Dirty Mary, Crazy Larry than Dennis Hopper had ever made in any movie ever. So I don't know what was going on there, but John Ho directed it. It's based on a 1963 novel titled The Chase by Richard Unekis, and it stars Peter Fonda, Susan George, Adam Rourke, and Vic Morrow. And yeah, so we touched on that NASCAR circuit racers. They felt that they weren't successful in NASCAR because they didn't have the money to fund a proper car and a proper team, so they're going to rip off the Save Mart by blackmailing the store manager for 150 grand and fund their NASCAR team and go into NASCAR dreams.
It's like they wanted to get caught.
Yeah, it was really. And like you said, they didn't wear masks, they didn't hide themselves, and so here's the thing. Certainly the store manager's family, like if their plan had gone off perfectly, the store manager's wife and son or daughter or whatever it was, his name was Deke. It's Adam Rourke, but his name was Deke, the mechanic. They saw Deke plainly and talked to him, and he threatened them. So here's the thing. If this all goes to plan, you go on to NASCAR Glory, they're going to see you on TV.
Yeah. If you lose everything. But
right.
That's a whole nother road it could have went down.
Right. So, yeah.
But still, the line that he said right at the end, it was epic.
Yeah.
That would be the last thing that you say before you are destroyed. See, nobody can ever take me down.
Right.
Dead.
Well, what was in Mad Max? I'm a something nitrous burning suicide machine or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That kind of plays over. But yeah, and I like they had the 66 Chevy Impala sedan. He did the jump right away, and that's what got him in trouble in the first place. He was driving like an asshole.
Yeah.
So, and of course it all goes wrong because he sleeps with the local, what they call her Dirty Mary. She was Dirty Mary. So this is the town
crazy
slut. He hooks up with the town slut who's crazy, just like him.
And brings her.
Well, she tracked him down, right? She shows up and then steals his keys.
He didn't want her. He tried to drop her off several times.
Yeah, he was trying to get rid of her. She wouldn't leave. And that was the other thing. It's like he's really mean to her the whole time. Remember, he calls her really? Dingleberry through the entire movie. It wasn't. It's a rough movie on so many levels.
But I think it's his charisma that gets him by. He's not, he's kind of a tall, gangly guy, but he's definitely got that charisma. I don't know if he got it from his dad or what.
Well, I'm going to assume it's his real hair, but it looked like the Incredible Hulk wig, didn't it?
No, that's got to be his real hair.
I think it was, but it looked like the Incredible Hulk wig.
Yeah, and I seen him. What was it last year? He was riding motorcycles down to Florida with that Walking Dead guy.
Yeah, he passed too. He
famous. Oh, he did.
Yeah, Peter Fonda died last year.
Wow.
Yeah, he had my favorite
A
cameo in
legend
Wild
in his own
Hogs.
right.
My other guilty pleasure. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that movie's
so
awesome.
that's the other thing. It's like he obviously still has some sort of like he wants Mary to be impressed by him, and so he's always showing off for her, which gets him in trouble many times in the movie where they like either break a car
Yeah.
or gain attention they don't need. He jumps the lift bridge. He jumped in the parking lot after peeling out, got everyone's attention, so they knew what car he was driving. He screwed up a lot that way. Um,
Yeah.
and then you had the asshole sheriff Vic Morrow,
Yeah.
who's like pressing all the cops into basically sacrificing their lives to catch this supermarket thief. It was remember, and then like the thing of it is, like you said, like it's a much higher quality movie than you think. Like when they're doing those helicopter chase scenes, that helicopter really was flying under power lines and hitting that car. Like they don't have CGI. They don't have a way to fake that.
No,
That dude
you had to
really was
actually do that
flying that
stuff.
chopper like that.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then the line that cracked me up. Let's see if you caught it. The line that cracked me up was when that cop that got wrecked early in the movie, he goes back to get his souped up Dodge Polara pursuit car. Remember? And he asks him,
Yeah.
he's like, what's my top end? And he's like, it's unlimited.
Yeah.
Like, really? Unlimited? Wow. That's impossible.
Well, I had a feeling something bad was going to happen to him. He was awful cocky with that car.
Yeah, he was. And it did. It went all
Yeah.
south for him. Um but yeah, I mean, it was interesting. It's a good movie. I in 1974, if you could see that at a drive-in sitting in a
Oh
1969
man,
Dodge Charger,
the epic.
that would have been freaking awesome. I would have been driving out of there. I would have
Of
broke
course, you
laws
might.
leaving that drive-in.
Yeah, you might kill yourself leaving.
But like you said, it has a crazy ending. But I was reading a little bit more about it. They made this movie for nothing. They had two 66 Impalas to shoot with, and three Chargers, two 1969s and one 1968. And so there's a point in the movie, because it's a 69 Charger throughout the entire movie, but there's a few scenes that shot where if you know the difference in the front end, it's a 68 Charger there instead of a 69 while they're running around. But that's
Yeah.
just because it's all they had. Apparently they had a team of mechanics with trucks and car trailers and tools, and they just fixed them up and kept them on the road as best they could, and they were using whatever vehicle was ready to go. So
Yeah.
here's the line that I wrote in my review that I'll be posting. Mary is played as a lunatic slut that just keeps coming back no matter how much they abuse her.
Yeah, it's horrible.
It really is.
She can give it just as bad as she gets it.
Right, she does. Yeah, she almost killed him a
Yeah,
couple
she does.
times.
Yeah.
And Deke is a drunk that's getting his second chance at the big time, and he is blindly loyal to Larry, even though he is clearly a sociopath.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said it's hard to root for them. Like, I was making parallels to this and the original Vanishing Point, because Kowalski in the original Vanishing Point is driving like that and getting people killed and ultimately getting himself killed just as a bet, like a race to get back to California. I mean, he's just a dick.
Yeah.
And these guys too is like, I don't care if they're successful at NASCAR. I mean, they like the whole premise is they're trash. They really are trash.
Yeah.
But like it's still cool, and they do get their comeuppance, and that was intended. The
But the car chase scenes are awesome. The
oh,
cars are beautiful.
it's excellent.
Nicely shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The stunt drivers were great. They did a great job with this movie. It is definitely one of the better drive-in films that came out of the 70s. It's just cool. Like I said, my last thing was if you love old car movies, this is one of the better ones out there, and it is. Um, it's one of my favorites to watch in the winter when I can't drive my own cars. It's definitely a favorite. But so I didn't get to talk to you about it. That's our Dirty Mary Crazy Larry. So let's pick a movie for next Saturday. What are we gonna do? It's your choice.
Ooh, I was just thinking John Wick.
John Wick. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Do you own that one?
Yes. Well, no, I don't. Take that back. No,
Okay.
I don't own John Wick.
Well, you will.
Okay.
We'll get that one out. I do have that one. Yes, we'll do John Wick. That's a great movie. I just bought the third one. I haven't watched it yet, and I didn't get to see it at the theater, so I'm excited to watch it.
Oh, you didn't? I saw it. It was great.
The John Wick movies are great. Keanu Reeves is awesome. I'm a big fan.
He's awesome. They should start calling him the comeback kid. How many times he's decided to retire and do rock bands and then come back.
I know. And he owns a motorcycle company. I mean, it's awesome.
We'll
talk more about it next week.
If anybody was going to say it and mean it, I'm living the dream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about him next week, though, because I have a lot to say about Keanu Reeves beyond the fact that John Wick's a great movie. But I really think he's a cool guy.
Yeah.
Definitely a rare bird in Hollywood. Definitely. Yep. But, okay, John Wick, cool. Do you have anything you want to say about the Lions and football?
I have lots of things to say about the Lions and football.
Okay.
I had a good time. I had a good time watching the game last week.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't enjoy the outcome, but we killed ourselves because the game there shouldn't even have been a choice of that. If the couple of plays that really went south on us hadn't went south, the game would have already been over.
Right.
They killed themselves. But we still came back at the end. Stafford still did his job like he has been doing for the first quarter of the season or whatever, throwing touchdown passes, not throwing interceptions, being accurate and smart.
Yeah.
I see good things for us this year. I can't see, as long as he stays healthy, I can't see bad coming out of it.
There are some pro football analysts that have moved the Lions into the top 5 in the NFL. I don't know if I would do that, but there are some based on this performance that are moving them into the top 5.
Well, you shut down Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, he made some good plays, but you basically shut him down.
Yeah. Without Darius Slay and without Quandre Diggs.
Yeah.
Who went out early with an injury.
So I'm impressed.
And then they lost Hawkinson in the third quarter.
What's that?
So they lost Hawkinson in the third quarter, and he was the key blocker for a lot of Kerryon Johnson's runs. Crap. Yeah.
When are they going to learn? How many times you got to watch replays of Pettigrew trying to hurdle people?
Right.
You don't do that crap.
Yeah, it's not a great idea. It works in college, but not so great in the pros. You don't want to do that.
No. Well, you think it's awesome when you see somebody like Nick Bawden do it, our fullback, when he hurdled that dude, and it was like, yes. But when you see Hawkinson do it and his head bounces off the ground, you're like, God.
That's why you don't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently he's okay, though, and he'll be okay. And the Lions are off this weekend, of course, so they should. That's actually really good because Stafford was kind of banged up. He had a hip issue. Oh, yeah. So they should have everyone back, and they play Green Bay on Monday night, so that'll be fun. I want to warn those Green Bay fans.
I'm able to.
I've yet to see Green Bay look dangerous as a football team. They really don't look dangerous. They don't.
They're saying how great they look and that this is, another contending team again. I don't see it.
They don't look as good as Detroit. Now, we'll see head-to-head how that pans out, but they don't look as good as Detroit at all. But they haven't for quite a while.
No.
It's been 3 years since Green Bay looked like Green Bay. I mean, honestly, Green Bay is a good football team, usually, and has been for many years. It's just the past 2-3 years, they've sucked.
Yeah. And it's not like Aaron Rodgers still isn't playing lights out. He's consistent.
Oh, he's still good. He's still real good.
Yeah, I think it's everything that's around them. I
Right.
think it's just not the same kind of team as we've been used to for, decades.
Yeah. Yep. But I do think Detroit is better than I gave them credit for. It's heartbreaking. I wanted them to not get blown out. That was basically my attitude going in, was that they're going to lose. I just want it to be a good game.
Yeah.
And then to see them in a situation where they should have won, if they just do a couple things differently.
Yeah.
Stafford fumbled in the
Well, the
in the
worst of
red
it was the
zone,
carry-on
and
fumble at
then
the goal
carry on
line.
fumbled and it was returned for a touchdown. Although many people are showing that replay and showing that shouldn't have happened. It should have either been a touchback on the fumble or he should have been ruled down. Right after he took off, like that shouldn't have happened that way. That
Yeah.
was really a breakdown by the officiating crew as well.
Yeah. Well,
That's not to say
but
that
still,
the Chiefs wouldn't have went down and scored. Maybe they would have,
no.
so it wouldn't have mattered. But they also might not have.
Well,
So
with guys laying on top of you, that is not when you reach the ball out. He
yeah,
didn't
that was
have
very
clear sight to the goal line. He had no idea how close he was. He thought he was close enough, but that's not how you do that.
no, that was very
You
foolish.
can't think you're close enough.
Well, and then the defense had Mahomes on that drive, the last drive. They had him at a 4th and 8.
And we didn't blitz.
He didn't blitz. Well, and even if you don't blitz, like, and the announcers called it immediately. They're like, well, they played man, and there was no one spying on the quarterback.
No, no.
So they played man. Everyone went deep, and Mahomes just scampered on up for a first down and then some. I mean, just a huge
Well,
breakdown
and
of the defensive call.
well, the reason, yeah, and the reason why I say it's 4th and 8 and you don't blitz now, if we look at a lot of the Patriots film on 4th and 8, when it's coming down on the line, they blitz everybody. You're
Right.
going to have to be a great quarterback to hit a guy when New England comes after you when it's 4th and 8 or whatever. But that play when it broke down watching the replay, that was planned.
Yeah.
They knew it was going to go that way.
Right.
He was already looking up, the middle of the field was wide open
Mm-hmm.
because it had been a few times and he didn't get to run because the big DT turned into the middle of the lane. But that was planned. All they had to do was blitz that play
Right.
and he was down.
Right.
You take in
Well,
those two middle, yeah.
And if you put Gerard Davis on spy, you also have it.
I know
Because then he's not going to, he may get some yards, but he's not going to get 8 most likely.
Not gonna get 8. No,
Because
not staying
Gerard's
that far
fast
back
enough
in
to
the
run him
pocket.
down.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah.
It
So,
sucked.
anyways, it was a really good game. I was impressed by the way that they played it. I mean, I know we've seen a lot of bad Lions teams, but I think there's something different about this team this year as a whole. Maybe not the defense, maybe not that great this season, but
They're
I think
top
it's going to pick
6.
up once.
They're top
Yeah.
6 against the pass in the NFL.
Okay.
That's why they're good right now.
Well, we need Slay back, and we need Deshaun Hand and Mike Daniels. We
Right.
get those 3 guys back, and that's going to be scary.
Well, a lot of Packer fans told me the problem with Mike Daniels is he's not that big and he gets hurt a lot. Like, he tends to be hurt a lot.
Man,
but he is
good, though,
talented.
when he's on.
Yeah. So that's kind of proving out to be true, at least so far. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't know. My last controversy at the game was that final Hail Mary throw. Casey's DB, when the ball got thrown, he shoved Marvin Jones Jr. to the ground.
Yeah.
And they didn't call a penalty because they said, well, it's a Hail Mary situation. So in a Hail Mary situation, you let a little bit more go than you would otherwise. And I said, here's the reason that I think that's bullshit. And I talked to Tommy and Kyle about this. So for the people who listen to both podcasts, they're hearing me say it twice. It's okay because it's important. That is only true. I will only accept that if you allow for the fact that in a Hail Mary situation, Marvin Jones Jr. could have turned around, knocked the
And shoved
DB
him
on the
down.
ground,
Yeah.
and then caught the ball, and they wouldn't call a penalty. Because you and I both know that's not true.
Yeah.
If an offensive player knocks the DB on the ground on a Hail Mary and then catches the ball, they're going to throw a flag every single time.
Every single time. Yeah, without fail.
Yeah.
On that.
So
Well,
you
and on
cannot
the
allow a DB to do that because that's basically taking the play away entirely.
yep. Well, that goal line go ahead touchdown that Kansas City scored on
Yeah,
with their running back Damian Williams.
yeah,
Anyways, on that touchdown run, Snacks got face masked and pulled to the ground
yeah,
backwards. He never got a chance to go forward, and I thought to myself, okay, well they scored the touchdown that we're probably going to lose, but why wasn't that called?
yeah.
How can the defensive tackle be pulled backwards by his face mask, a guy that big who's known for stopping the run, and you don't call a holding call or a face mask, hands to the
Right.
face or whatever? Give me a break. So there was a couple things where I
Yeah.
I felt like they really missed it.
Well, the Lions also had that really nasty face mask on that KC player on that
Yeah,
kickoff return.
that's okay.
That was like that almost looked like he could have broke that guy's neck.
I know. I
That was
showed I
pretty
showed
bad.
I showed Celestine. I was like, look at the way his head
Yeah,
moves,
that's one of
man.
the worst ones I've ever seen.
Yeah.
So they,
But what do
I
you do
admit
if you
that
don't call? I mean, do you find the guy after the game's over for
you could,
I mean,
or you
yeah,
could. I
they
mean,
could. I know they could. It's just
I don't
there'd be a
know.
lot of
I guess
fines
you'd have
every
to.
year.
To me, you'd have to determine if it was malicious. Like, did he do that on purpose? Because
Yeah,
you
if he
know,
was if he was reaching for it.
right in a kickoff return situation, and everyone's running so fast in opposite directions, that sort of thing could happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't like it because I don't want to see someone get their neck broke on live TV. Like,
No.
what's his
No.
face, Utley?
You don't want to see any. You don't even see people get their legs broke because it's
No,
painful to watch. I
right?
know. I know how that feels.
Yeah, that's no good. But so where are you at with your car? Are you going to put it
Um,
away for the winter here pretty quick, or you still got it out?
I'm getting ready to. Last night it was 30 degrees and there was frost. Now I did take it out last week, and I've got I still have the same plan. That I got to get the tune up done, spark plugs, distributor cap, wires, and I'm switching it to a synthetic oil, and then it's gonna get put away.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put the Cutlass and the Mustang away either tomorrow or within the next couple days because we're going out of town,
Okay.
and I want to
Ooh,
make sure
hey,
those are
there's
put up.
there's a kid found me some nice original rear window louvers.
Oh,
Not repops, originals. They've been hanging in this garage, and he keeps on promising me that he's going to get a price for me. So I got my fingers crossed, man, because I would love to have
nice.
an original set because they're actually more valuable.
You got to go comment on my post from this afternoon
Okay.
because I put it's 1985. You just bought a Camaro IROC Z. What's the song you play in the car as you drive away from the dealership?
Ho ho ho.
I put Twisted Sister.
Twisted Sister.
Well, I was looking at what was out in 1985. Because at first I think like Guns N' Roses, but that was late 80s. That would have been later.
That was later 80s. Yeah, you got to
Yeah.
think Van Halen.
Yeah. Van
So-
Halen would have been a good choice. Yeah.
Who else? 85, man. That was a good year for music, too.
But you'll have to go on there and post. It was cool. We got some Rakim, some Run DMC, had quite a different group. Led Zeppelin, Rat. There was
Yeah,
Judas
Run
Priest.
Around.
There was
That's a great one.
yeah, there was all kinds of them on there. So, Mom put Twist and Shout.
Yeah,
So-
okay, I'll get on there. I'll put my music on
Yeah,
there. Yeah.
it's amazing though, man. You're the '80s, those '80s cars, those '80s Fox Body Mustangs, and those the Camaros and the Firebirds. They've really come around. Everybody's really starting to appreciate them now.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
is good
it's
to
about
see.
time because they're hitting that point where they're becoming not just classics but antiques. It's getting
Right.
that old.
Right. Well, and they are cool. They're real aerodynamic. They still
They're
do
still
real well
really
in
fast.
racing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, they're still great cars. But I don't know, man. That's about all I got. So we're gonna watch John Wick and talk about it next week.
Yeah.
Real
And I'll
quick,
be on top. I'll be on top of Street Outlaws and Leno's Garage.
I want to talk about the sweepstakes before we stop.
Yeah.
We are running. It's from October 1st to December 31st. We're working with one of the largest sweepstakes companies in the United States. We are legally obligated to provide the prize. They are drawing the winner, not us. We use Stripe and PayPal to handle all financial transactions, so everything is very safe, very secure. I don't even see that stuff. That's handled completely by them. That's for your safety and my safety, or Muscle and Speed safety. And so nothing else is changing about it. We're still going to do the podcast. We're still doing our articles. We're still going to be sharing pictures and videos. We're going to be, going to as many events as we can and sharing all of that stuff. Nothing is going to be put behind a paywall like that. There are some features that are unique to the sweepstakes and the possible subscription services that people could get that are a part of that, but nothing else will change. So this is just an additional thing, and it's going to exist on its own with its own package of things. What's that?
There's some great items on there.
Yeah, and I think for those people that are thinking, well, I'm following Muscle and Speed because I like to look at these cars, but I don't have one of those cars, so what would I do with $1,000 to Jegs? Well, I'm sure you own a car. What do you need? Tires? You need brakes? You need tools? You need, you can get anything. Jegs is like Amazon for car parts. They have everything for every kind of car. So it's useful to everyone. And then that laptop on top of it, I'm telling you, it's a screamer. It's a great laptop. You'll love it. And if you don't want any of that, $750 in cash is a nice backup prize. For $4 an entry, that's really cheap.
Well worth it.
5 entries would be $20.
Yeah.
I said that like Buford T. Justice. Decorated a whole town at a cost of $40. So yeah, go to www.muscleandspeed.com. You use the navigation to go to sweepstakes. You can get your entries there. Tickets. Yeah, you can learn all about it. It's fantastic. It's running till December 31st. We get notified of the winner within a week of that. We'll announce it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, on our YouTube channel. We will track down the winner. So unless you've passed away, you will get your prize.
Yeah.
That's it. Until next Saturday. I'll catch you later, man.
Next Saturday. Yep, we'll catch you later.